Hello viewers, welcome to the Dateline Northeast, a program that gives you an overview of the developments in India's Northeast region. I'm your host Chandrakala and the highlights of today's program are: Centre takes stock of damage in flood-hit Northeast India. India-Bangladesh border talks held in Meghalaya. Indigenous weavers uphold legacy of handloom in Manipur. And Jhum farmer get vocational training in Tripura. As the flood situation in Northeast India continued to worsen, millions have been left stranded and rendered homeless. Union Minister of State for Home Affairs Kiren Rijiju conducted an aerial survey of the flood-ravaged states of Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. A 5-member team of MHA visited Imphal to take stock of the situation. We have a detailed report. Floods caused by torrential rains have wreaked havoc in India's northeast region, with the state of Assam being the worst hit. More than 20 districts in Assam have been inundated as incessant monsoon rains have forced the burgeoning Brahmaputra River and its tributaries to burst their banks. Over 2,000 villages in districts of Karimganj, Golaghat, Sonitpur and Lakhimpur have been submerged and over 40 people killed. Recently, Minister of State for Home Affairs Kiren Rijiju conducted an aerial survey of the flood-hit areas in Assam. Rijiju visited Lakhimpur, Dhemaji and Majuli districts, met local officials and visited various relief camps. Authorities in Kaziranga National Park, 60% of which has been submerged, have imposed speed restrictions on vehicles crossing the sanctuary to safeguard animals rushing out to escape the deluge. Rijiju was accompanied by Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu during an aerial survey of flood-affected areas of Pasighat, Mebo, Dambuk, Mahadevpur and Dian in Arunachal Pradesh.
The main problem is you have to reach the place to understand the extent of damage. We did the aerial survey. We could see many of the portions of the highway has been damaged. The main issue is the highway, the water supply and the granaries and the paddy fields of the villages which has been destroyed. It's a quite large extent. We could not visit most of the places, but whatever we have seen, the extent of damages are very high. We will prepare a report and then I have already sanctioned a certain amount under SDRF from Home Ministry.
National Disaster Response Force and NDRF teams are carrying out rescue operations on war footing. As many as 1,300 people have been evacuated and more than 3,000 provided with medical assistance so far.
मानसून को रोकने के लिए तो अभी ये तो नेचर का ही बात है, तो इसमें हम लोग कुछ कर ही नहीं पाएगा, लेकिन अब इस तरह से जो रेनफॉल जब हेवी हो जाते हैं तो इस तरह से कोई दुर्घटना ना हो, तो हमारे जो डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट जो डिपार्टमेंट है वो अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम्स वगैरह तो गांव में करते हैं और हमारे जितने भी जो जिला है तो वो जिला प्रशासन भी सभी गांव और शहरों में उसका जो अवेयरनेस कैंपेन जो वो करते हैं और हमारे स्टेट में जैसे एनडीआरएफ के जवान भी तैनात है यहाँ पे और एनडीआरएफ जवान लोग भी जाके वो कुछ ट्रेनिंग कैंप्स वगैरह वो सब करते हैं.
Meanwhile, Donor Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh chaired a high-level review meeting with officials from PMO India, MOS along with the other state officials on flood situation in the region. The centre has also asked the Indian Space Research Organisation ISRO to assess the damage in the northeast.
There have been actually floods year after year in Assam and Manipur. Even in 2015 we faced a situation like this in Manipur. But the difference this time is that the rainfall is tremendously high compared to earlier years. For example, in the first 11 or 12 days of the month of July this year, the rainfall is almost more than 100% compared to what it was during the same period last year or year before last. And therefore, not only the flood is very huge, but by the time the rescue operations are brought into operation, the rainfall again goes an upsurge and there is once again a surge in the flood water. And therefore the rescue operations also get affected. The Prime Minister is himself taking cognizance of it. It was on his directions. 2 of the teams have already proceeded to Northeast.
A 5-member team of the Ministry of Home Affairs MHA led by Joint Secretary Administration Prakash visited the flood-affected areas of Manipur. The team went to different places of Imphal East and Imphal West districts and collected a first-hand account of the flood situation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi assured full assistance to the states of Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. He also announced an ex gratia of Rs 2 lakh for the relatives of those killed in the landslide in Arunachal Pradesh. Border forces of India and Bangladesh recently met for a 4-day dialogue in northeastern Meghalaya state. The talks saw a discussion on border issue, prevention of illegal immigration and activities of insurgent groups, among others. Teams of 23 delegates from both the countries took part in the dialogue. A biannual India-Bangladesh border talk was recently held in Shillong city. Teams of India's Border Security Force and Border Guards Bangladesh discussed an array of issues like cattle smuggling, illegal movement of fake Indian currency, construction of single-row fencing, and joint efforts for effective implementation of common agenda programs during the 4-day conference. The 23-member Bangladesh delegation was led by Additional Director General M. Zahid Hassan, while Inspector General Border Security Force UC Sarangi led the Indian delegation. IGs of Mizoram and Meghalaya and Kachar frontiers also took part in the meeting.
We are very sure that there is no such places of these so-called insurgents or whatever. However, we have discussed that any kind of information, real-time information, both the forces and the bordering areas will promptly act if there is any. But I would like to kindly request that do not go with this perception.
The conference also sought to foster better understanding between the border forces of the two nations. Both the forces appreciated each other's efforts and cooperation in tackling border-related issues so far. The two nations vowed to act promptly against insurgency.
The very positive gesture exhibited by you and the esteemed members of your delegation surely strengthen our aspirations and convictions. We have our firm belief that the outcome of this conference will go on to further solidify our existing bonds of friendship and traditional ties between our two forces. We look forward to meet you as frequently as possible in future.
The forces of two countries also stressed upon the need to uplift the people living on either sides of the border. Expressing concern over militant groups hiding in the border areas, the neighbors vowed to wipe out any militant camps operating out of their lands. In this regard, a high-level meeting was also held with Director General of Meghalaya Police on this issue, and a plan of action has been drawn to detect any militants if present along the international border.
This has been a result of their concerted efforts at all levels, right from PM to last Jawan. They are after them, and probably there are no regulated camp which used to be earlier about 10 years back or 15 years back. So that thing should go away from our mind. These fellows are hiding at some of the forest areas or in some of the relatives by changing their identity.
India and Bangladesh share friendly relations. India was the first country to recognize Bangladesh as a separate and independent state and established diplomatic relations with the country immediately after its independence in December 1971. Let us now take a look at some of the events that made news in the Northeast recently. Recently, Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh inaugurated a free computer training center at Liberal College in Luang Sangbam, Imphal. The center is run by the Information and Cultural Society Manipur and is one of its kind by a private NGO. The training center will train 500 youths in 4 batches. 6 instructors have volunteered to train the youth. The course comprises of 1.5 and 3 months courses which will train youth in basic computer knowledge and DTP works. Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu recently launched a smart classroom project under the Adhunik Shiksha Yojana. The project is aimed at ushering in a bright future for the coming generation. The new project was undertaken through the tripartite agreement between State's Education and IT Department and HCIL India Limited. The project would be introduced in government-run primary, upper primary, secondary and higher secondary schools in the coming 3 years. So far, 21 master trainers and 1,097 teachers from across 21 districts have been imparted smart classroom training. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh said his cabinet has approved Rs 10 crore for Manipur State Journalist Welfare Scheme. The CM, who was attending a award function organized by an evening daily, Kangle Pakki Mera, said the funds will be used for the welfare of several low-paid scribes in the state who were struggling to compete. The Manipur State Journalist Welfare Scheme was approved by the State Cabinet last month. The scheme aims to provide one-time compensation and relief to scribes and their family members. 5 scribes were honored at the event for their contribution in the field of journalism. Meanwhile, 6 veteran journalists were also conferred with special mention awards at the event. Centuries-old festival Kar Puja was recently celebrated at the Royal Palace in Agartala with great zest and religious fervour. Kar is considered the guardian deity of Vastu Devta in the state of Tripura since the Manikya dynasty started ruling the state and is worshipped to protect the state from evil spirit and black magic. Kar Puja was initiated to safeguard the people from diseases, destitution and external aggression. Led by chantais or head priest, strict rituals are followed during the celebration. During the 2.5 days of celebrations, no one is allowed to go outside the boundaries specified by the organizers of Kar. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh inaugurated a family court in Thoubal district recently. Speaking at the event, Singh said his government would extend maximum support and cooperation to judiciary and would provide to enhance the infrastructure of the courts. Benin Angom MJS has been appointed the first judge of the Thoubal Family Court. A summer camp for school children, BioCamp 2017, a vocational hobby camp for school students, was recently held at Jorhat Science Centre and Planetarium. The camp sought to impart the knowledge of modern science exclusively for students of government and provincialized schools of Upper Assam. A total of 80 students from various districts of the state took part in the 5-day-long camp. They were divided into 4 groups for better understanding. Adding another feather to Assam's cap, Roshni Hassan from Guwahati was recently crowned Mrs. United Nations 2017. The beauty pageant was held in Kingston, Jamaica. Roshni succeeds Wendy Rousseau, Mrs. United Nations 2016 from USA. Speaking to the media in Guwahati, Roshni expressed interest in doing charitable work. Next, we have handloom and handicrafts products are an integral part of Manipur's culture and tradition. They are also a reflection of creativity of the state's people. A handloom center in Ukhrul district is doing everything to promote the rich cultural heritage through their intricate designs and motifs. A report.
The beauty of handloom and handicrafts of India's northeast region speaks volumes about its rich and diverse history. Manipur contributes a great deal to the handloom and handicrafts with its distinct cultural aesthetics and traditional fabrics. A weaver, Julie Horam, a proprietor of Y.R. John Handloom Weaving, Handicraft Center in Ukhrul district, is promoting the rich legacy of the Dankul community, one of the biggest tribes in Manipur. Julie is one of the few artisans involved in making rare traditional handloom fabrics of Dankul in Manipur, adorned with embroidered motifs. The center is not just helping to preserve the tying handloom industry, it also providing the young girls of Manipur with an opportunity to earn their livelihood.
Asi chaukat pati krino chakar haibra chakar atugumba shu leininge atuka yum extend dauraga kor atei shu lauraga mi shaningai de ikhoi kachai gi mi digo yam lake good facility pi bangamde.
At present, 12 young girls are training under her at the center, weaving different types of garments in vivid colors and intricate designs which reflect their age-old traditions and culture. Many young auditions have been able to learn more about your culture and community by working at the center.
이위 미린데 시살라가 옥팅아에 나우들라 이왕 자가 동자 회를 잘해 히기사 어차 회 아밤 클레히 이왕 파나예데 쿠이 그 클릭스 아밤 타지면 랭사간네 아tum빙 히탈리라라가 히사 어차이라 담 퀸사가에
Using the modern weaving technique and machine called throw shuttled handloom, which is much bigger than traditional weaving equipment, the center specializes in traditional fabrics like those used for shawls, waistcoats for men, purses, bags, wraparound, and even cushion covers. Many weavers and local artisans are now being trained in this conventional hand weaving, as it is now less time consuming than the traditional weaving technique. However, the designs and unique patterns on the fabrics remain as beautiful as ever, as the creativity of the artist has remained unchanged.
Yam Kanaganida, Mashaki lady, Amoga Sida 20-30 Pangbadu, I quake Mashagi already 60-70 Pangbagigo. Aduna Henno, I can the Gorman Krabang by Gang Bang be ready.
Such centers provide the local artisans with a platform to put their skills to good use and earn a fair price for their hard work.
Well, viewers, next we have India's Northeast region has produced tons of achievers in the field of sports and made the country proud at many international arenas. To hone their talent, 14 Wushu players from the landlocked Northeast are undergoing training at Rajiv Gandhi High Altitude Center in Himachal Pradesh, Silaro.
Talented, skillful and hardworking. These are some words that best describe the people of the Northeast region. Anji Toshibala, a Wushu player from Manipur, is among the 46 Wushu players training at the High Altitude Training Camp at Rajiv Gandhi High Altitude Center in Shilaru. Currently working as a supervisor at the State Social Welfare Department, Toshibala has returned to the sport after a hiatus of 3 years. There has been no turning back for her ever since. She went on to win many medals, including a silver medal in women's Chengquan event at the first ever BRICS Games in China 2017.
High altitude is very good because here the oxygen percentage is very low, and if we can accustom ourselves to this weather, means to this high altitude, then the lower level means the ground level, I think हम लोग को stamina बढ़ेगा.
Altogether, 14 young players from the Northeast region are undergoing training. They train for nearly 6 hours every day at an altitude of over 8,200 feet above sea level. This modern fighting method and sport, influenced by traditional Chinese kickboxing, has been fondly practiced in the Northeast region. As they are preparing for the international camp in China next month, the players are being trained under 5 national coaches and on various forms in the art of Wushu, which includes kickboxing, Tai Chi and Taolu movements and various other grappling techniques. Among the Wushu trainees at the National Wushu Coaching Camp, Vai Sanathoi Devi, an Arjuna awardee from Manipur, is also striving hard for another medal at the upcoming international championship.
ये ख़त्म होने के बाद हम लोग चाइना में कैंप भेज रहे हैं हमारा फेडरेशन लोग ने, और हमारे कोचेस लोग हम तैयार कर रहे हैं हम लोग को उधर अच्छा से फिर खेलने के लिए. इसके बाद हम रशिया में वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप हो रहा है, इसके लिए हम लोग तैयार कर रहे हैं.
Moreover, the beaming Rajni Deori, who hails from Assam, is happy that the government recognized his achievements in sports and helped him get into the armed forces.
उसको कल के बच्चा लोग आर्मी में आ रहे हैं, खास करके आर्मी, सीआरपीएफ, एसएसबी, सभी बच्चा लोग को जॉब मिल रहा है. जो अच्छा खेला वो जॉब मिल रहा है. नोटिस के बच्चा लोग ये बोलूँगा कि मतलब अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस करो, आगे मतलब अच्छा है गेम. अभी उसमें ओलंपिक में अभी आ रहा है कोई गेम, मेहनत करें मतलब अच्छा होगा.
These 46 campers that included 40 players, 5 coaches and 1 physio were shortlisted for the forthcoming 14th World Wushu Championship at Kazan in Russia from September 25th to 4th October 2017. Moreover, such camps gives an opportunity to the young players to showcase their talents and improve their skills.
Tribal communities in the state of Tripura have for long practiced jhum or shifting cultivation, a traditional method where forests are slashed and burned to create land for agriculture. The destructive practice doesn't yield much income to farmers. Hence, to help create alternate source of income, farmers are being provided vocational training under the Indo-German Development Cooperation Project. We have a report.
Jhum or shifting cultivation is an indigenous way of agriculture practices where the tribal farmers use the same land for a number of vegetation one after the other. This technique is mainly followed by the hilly tribes who don't possess much of the plain lands for extensive farming. Over the years, the tribal farmers of the state of Tripura have been involved in vigorous jhum or shifting cultivation where the farmers undergo difficult time as they shift to another virgin piece of land for cultivation. The process involves slashing and burning the plants, which is environmentally destructive and faulty land of practice causing damage to soil system. Jhum cultivation has led to the exploitation of jhumaiyas as there is no permanency in cultivation and yields very lesser income to them, which in turn become difficult for them to sustain life.
Project Paibar age ami jhum cultivation korse. Ekhon bagan korse. Jhum botli koria. Ekhon banana, supari, orange, mix. Ekhon muti ordekta fol dorse. Ordekta kichu yo juan bala ase jume khub kosto ase katte lagia jalaite lagia eta environment nostor koria eta bad dise.
Realizing the plight of these poor farmers, the Tripura government is making all their efforts to shift the jhumias to permanent cultivators or mainstream professions. The Indo-German Development Cooperation Project was incepted in 2009 with the objective of improving the socio-economic status of the forest-dwelling communities, especially the shifting cultivators living in Dhalai and North Tripura districts, covering about 28,000 scheduled tribe, scheduled caste and other backward class households. The project is a bilateral cooperation between the Federal Republic of Germany and Government of Tripura. Recently, a national experience sharing workshop was held to felicitate the former jhum farmers who have been rehabilitated under IGTC project in Tripura. Around 1,200 ex-jhum farmers took part in the workshop who got permanently settled after undergoing vocational training on agri-hortiforestry, model plantation, fishery, nursery, broom making, mushroom, grocery shops, etc., thus diverting them away from their erstwhile shifting cultivation.
আগে আমি তে কাজ করে জুমে কাজ করে জুমে কাজ করতে করতে আমি পরে রেশন সুটে আমি বাটমেন্ট করে পরে বাটমেন্ট কইয়ে বাদ দিছে বাদ দিয়া পরে আমি আছে দেশ হাম তারা দিছে বাগান সুপারি দিছে নারিকেল দিছে আম দিছে পেঁপে সব দিছে আমারে পাঁচটা জায়গা পাইছে হ্যাঁ ভালো হয়েছে
Over 7,000 tribal Jumia families have shifted to various professions by undergoing vocational training courses like beautician. Moreover, till now 4,000 tribal youths got self-employed after vocational training.
আমি ক্লাস 11 এ পড়ি সালামা ক্লাস 12 স্কুলে আমার বাড়ি মেন্দি আর বাবা গৃহস্থী করেন আর আমি এখানে সালামা এখানে মানে পার্লার শিখতে এসেছি আমার পড়াশোনার ফাঁকে ফাঁকে এখানে শিখি ইন্দো জার্মান থেকে কি লাভ হবে এখান থেকে শিখে স্যার যেহেতু পড়াশোনা করে তো এখনের দিনে চাকরি পাওয়া যায় না সেজন্য আমি এখানে মানে পার্লার শিখতে এসেছি
In this way, the IGDC project started capacity development and training programs on participatory planning at village level and eventually shifted its focus towards capacity development of villagers through formation of self-help groups and training them on subjective functionalities and financial management. It is worth mentioning that in the year 2006, the number of shifting cultivator families in the state stood at 27,477, but in the year 2016, this has come down to 8,168.
Well, viewers, with that, we have come to the end of this episode of Roving Report. Do connect with us through our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter at AnyIndia_ANI. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel to get latest news updates from the Northeast. I'm your host, Chandrakala. Goodbye and take care.